The study, which included both laboratory analysis and on-site inspections, uncovered multiple issues with the quality of milk being produced, processed and distributed in Fort Portal district.
Concerns in our region, especially in the Toro region, but also across the country, we decided to take on some researches to understand really the level of contamination of particular foods. We did quite a number of food samples, ranging of course from the maize, from the milk, from meat, from soy, different food samples. But from the results that we got, we realized that actually milk, to single out one of the elements, milk was really very contaminated. I would say that none of the samples actually passed the test for coliforms. Most of the milk samples, almost all of them actually, they did not pass the test for coliforms, meaning that most of the milk that we are consuming within Fort Portal City is actually contaminated.
The samples were picked alongside those of beef, tomatoes, soy and maize flour from Panga, Kabundaire, Kachwamba, Kasusu markets by Kabarole Research and Resource Center, Uganda. The samples were delivered to UNBS laboratory on October 18th and analysis was conducted between October 20th and 27th, 2023.
Food, probably in the dairies, in the shops where they're selling milk, there's already a problem in terms of handling. People have, poor handling methods. The hygiene is not there. The sanitation where the milk is being sold is not there. People are using wrong materials actually to transport milk. Take an example, most of our farmers are using jerry cans which are not easy to clean. So at the end of the day, you find that the milk gets contaminated along the value chain. And of course, you cannot risk failing to have these coliforms within the milk.
The high contamination rates, according to the research, was brought by adulteration of milk, with some samples found to be diluted with water or other non-milk substances, a fraudulent practice that compromises the nutritional value and quality of the milk. The research also revealed inadequate adherence to hygiene and sanitation standards in many dairy facilities, from farms to processing plants. Dr. Bernard Bwambale says this contamination poses serious health risks to the consumers.
Population is at risk of foodborne diseases, especially if they consumed milk that was actually that is actually having coliforms. So because of that, we are calling upon, of course, different actors to come up with, we make this advocacy together to make sure that people handle milk well. Of course, the coliforms, failing a test on coliforms simply means that there is poor handling of milk. And of course, you would realize that most of the bacteria or most of the microorganisms in the milk are just as a result of poor handling. Adulteration, people are putting a lot of unclean water in the milk, and so depending on where they are picking water, if not, actually most of the water is probably drained from unpotable water and added to the milk, which is a risk factor to increasing the coliforms within the milk.
However, Dr. Bernard says for the problem to be solved, milk should be handled in the right containers and all standards to handle milk should be followed.
Use the right containers that are allowed to be used. Make sure that the milk is put in the right cans, which are also cleaned and sanitized or pasteurized, and also making sure that really we follow the standards of handling the milk.